Today, from Seattle, Washington, it's Week 8 of the NFL on EA Sports. We'll see Drew Lock and the Seattle Seahawks taking on Daniel Jones and the New York Giants.
With Mount Rainier in the distance, there are few cities finer on a clear afternoon than this one, and we have a picture-perfect day for football at Lumen Field in Seattle. Today, we've got a Week 8 matchup on tap here between the New York Giants and the Seattle Seahawks. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you look at this Seahawks team as they get ready here. They can't be any better as we hit the halfway mark. A perfect 7-0 on the year.
And when we looked at this team in August and we looked at the schedule, we thought they had the potential to get off to a hot start. But I don't think either of us expected 7-0.
Lurching closer toward the midway point of this NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. And they will elect to not bring this one out as our first drive will begin at the 25. Here come the Giants, led out by their former 6th overall pick out of Duke back in 2019. Daniel Jones under center.
He had the numbers of a game last week that if you win, you talk about him being a gritty guy, managing the game, getting it done. But they lost. So obviously 2 interceptions, 1 touchdown pass, that's not going to be good enough. Got to get that changed around.
Jones looking to throw it on the first play. Open target here, Darius Slayton. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Now Jones. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. They'll wind up losing 8 on the sack there, and it's 2nd down.
And this is what you've got to do against a quarterback like him. You've got to keep him in the pocket and not let him get to the perimeter, because once he gets outside, that's where he can really hurt you.
Gotta imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on 2nd down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. On the ground, this is Saquon Barkley. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. Just a 1-yard loss that time, but that's not what they needed. Now they're dealing with a 3rd and long.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. That'll be taken in there by Kenny Golladay. They'll get 8, but they're going to have to punt here on the opening drive because that's not enough. On 4th down, Jamie Gillen on to punt for the Giants. Back deep for the Seahawks, Tyler Lockett. They punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt, and it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. Get a look at this Seahawk offense as they come out there, and the quarterback brought in as part of that big offseason trade, now in his 4th NFL season, Drew Lock.
And I think if you ask most folks to give you their first half MVP, very likely they're going to say it's this man right here. The NFL's leader in touchdown passes to this point in the season. Still 2 months to go, but if he can keep going at the pace he's at, this is going to be a dangerous team come January, and he could very well walk away with the MVP.
A good start to the drive here as that's caught out on the left side. On the move past the 40. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. DK Metcalf, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Seahawks are on the board first here this afternoon. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams, I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games and continue that in this one.
Jason Myers now for the extra point. And this will give the Seahawks a 7-0 lead. Pretty clean and simple there. Just 2 plays. The long pass resulting in the touchdown on play number 2. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. And we see James. He will not return it, and they'll bring it out to the 25. So the Giants getting the football back here for their second drive. Well, partner, fast forward with me for a second. Remember, next week they have the open week, so they're going to get some extended rest. Does that change how they manage the rest of this one?
I think it does a little bit, but not by too much, because you're right. You get the extra rest, you get a chance to heal up and kind of, do a little bit of a reset for this team. But it's also 7 extra days to think back to the last time you were on the field. So now, a little more importance on what they're getting done because they carry it with them for essentially 2 weeks. Almost feels like anything you can do, we're going to try and match or do better. We've already seen 1 touchdown pass from the opposition. They tried to equal it on that throw.
He's going to go up top again, and that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. And here's Gillen on now to punt as he gets this one away. Now it's Lockett. And just a net of 31 here. 40-yard punt, 9 on the return. And that will come the offense as they take over. Seattle's offense coming back onto the field, ready for their second drive. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. Steps away. He hits his target, Lockett. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. It'll go as an impressive 31-yard gain. Now a play fake, and here's Locke. On the move to his left. Touchdown, Seahawks. Tyler Lockett, 26 yards. And the Seahawks are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Well, this has been a flawless start for them. They score, they get the stop, and they score again, Charles.
Complimentary football at its finest. You just mentioned how they got it done. They scored. The defense got the ball back for them. They score again. That's the way you win ball games.
Myers connects on the PAT, and that'll make the score 14-0. The long touchdown pass gets him 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. And we see James. He will not return it, and they'll bring it out to the 25. Here's the Giant offense now as they get ready to take over here. And they come in losers of 2 straight. And remember, they've got the open date on their calendar next weekend. But you think it's vitally important, Charles, that they focus on the task at hand here?
Absolutely, because these players, they know what's coming up. And the difference between taking time off following a win versus doing so on a 3-game losing streak, that's absolutely huge because they may come back if they lose this game to a facility, and there may be new faces in there and some teammates lost. And he's only hit on 2 of his first 6 passes. Time for a quick quarterback regroup here with a big 3rd down coming up.
Throwing Jones. And that is incomplete.
Well, based on what we've seen so far, I don't think you can even call this an off day anymore, partner, because this group we're watching, they are totally out of rhythm, trying to get their game plan up and running. That 0 on the scoreboard is glaring down at them with every incompletion.
A very nice punt that time, but they get 11 back on the return. And they will take over 1st and 10. So here are the Seahawks ready to take over on offense. They've got the lead right now, and remember, they are riding that very impressive 7-game winning streak, trying to push it to 8. Seahawks with a 1st and 10. Locke gets ready to go at the 40. Locke off of play action. And his throw here is incomplete. So this game, Charles, you know, we talk about potential unbeaten seasons a lot. It feels like every year at some point in the season we talk about that. But this is one of those games where if you're unbeaten, you got to be careful. You can't take this one too lightly.
You're exactly right about that. And by rights, this should be a cakewalk. Almost a week off. Let the starters run up the score in the first half. Backups get to play in the second. But you and I both know that funny things sometimes happen when you think this way. So it's incumbent upon the starters to really play well to make it work for this team.
They'll go for it. It's Locke out to his left. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out, and the Giants are going to take over in great field position. A first down carry for Barkley. And he'll manage to pick up about 4 at 2nd down. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 21 carries, 80 yards.
He's hoping to have the same type of game, but he's going up against the #1 defense in the league, and they're very good at fitting the run. So now you've got to think offensive strategy, maybe a little more play action, and try and find some people up and downfield.
Now they're going to be dealing with a 3rd and 7. Is that one officially a loss of 1? 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. And this offense on 3rd down today, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 7. Finding Sterling Shepard for his first catch. And he will have a Giants first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Jones with a handoff to Barkley. He'll get this down to the 21, just on the edge of the red zone. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Looking to throw. Jones. This is Shepard on the catch. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. 1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Back to throw. Jones. The quick slant caught. Touchdown, Giants. Sterling Shepard. A 7-yard touchdown grab. And the Giants have cut it back within a score. Extra point try good by Gano. And that'll make our score 14-7. That time a 6-play drive. And it was polished off by a Giants touchdown. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. As this offense gets ready here for this drive, Charles, you still wonder about that prior drive. Went for it on 4th down in their own territory, didn't get it, and then that led to a touchdown on the other side.
And I don't mind the aggressiveness. In fact, I'm usually a huge fan of it, but I just want teams to always weigh risk and reward. To me, too early in this game because the reward just wasn't big enough to go for it there in case they failed. Now the pressure back on their offense to pick themselves up, and they gave the touchdown that was just given up.
And it'll be incomplete. Good job staying with him defensively. And it'll bring up 2nd down. They fake the handoff. Now Locke. Oh, they gets into double coverage and intercepted. Picked off by the USC man, Adoree Jackson. Well, this was a 14-0 game not too long ago. Things were looking pretty good. And then you give up the touchdown on the last drive. Now the interception.
So that's a lesson in trying to stay vigilant, isn't it? You have to stay on top of things. Can't relax too much because, as you noted, things change. Now they've got to go out there and get a spark going again and try and slow down this comeback.
To throw again on second down. Jones. That's complete to Slayton. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for third down. They'll come to the line needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. Here's Jones on 3rd and 2. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up. On 4th down, here's Jamie Gillen on to punt. .153 remaining in this first half of play. Coming up at halftime, I'll go from one personality, that's you, Charles Davis, to another one in Orlando, the coach. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL. You and Jonathan Coachman both larger than life.
No doubt about it.
But you're stuck with me in this booth,
yes,
and he's miles away and smiling. A beautiful spin and room to run. And he will work his way out of bounds here at the 25-yard line. It's a big play there for Seattle. 43 yards. Play action. Now it's Locke. Rolling to his left. Returning right back to Lockett. Touchdown! Tyler Lockett. His 10th touchdown of the season, 2nd of the game. And the Seahawks have taken a 2-touchdown lead now. Touchdowns on their first 3 possessions, and they're a PAT from going up 21-7.
Yeah, very impressive the way that they moved the football. Full command of their playbook, full command of the way they wanted to attack.
Extra point up and through by Myers, and it's now 21-7. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled-out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
From the gun on 3rd down, Jones. Throw left side, taken in by Galladay. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. On to punt, Jamie Gillen. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Returnable for Lockett. 45 yards, that's what the punt goes for. 5 on the return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Tyler Lockett trotting onto the field, getting set for this next drive. Sitting right around the midpoint of the season, on pace for 1,000 yards. Good year so far, and I'm sure film study being devoted to him a little bit more on the other side.
They have to, because the pace that he's carrying right now, if you're pushing a 1,000-yard pace as a receiver, that means he warrants your attention. And right now, precision is going on with their offense. Kind of like that timepiece you wear on your wrist. You know, that good stuff. Got to knock that off somehow. Chip away at that.
He's got a man. Complete. Touchdown, Seahawks. DK Metcalf. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Seahawks will extend their lead in the final minute of the half. Myers connects on the PAT. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. After the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll send you back over to Orlando with our EA Sports Halftime Report, here's Jonathan Coachman.
All right, Brandon, good work in that first half. More from you guys in a minute. But first, let's get to some scores right here on the day before Halloween. We'll start our tour out in the City of Angels, Los Angeles. And it's the Niners who have the lead as those two teams play the second quarter. Trey Lance with a couple of touchdown passes. From there, we head eastward to Indianapolis to check on the Colts at home at Lucas Oil Stadium. And you can see, currently they trail in that ball game. Terry McLaurin, a touchdown reception. Lastly, let's head up to the Twin Cities to check in on the Vikings at home in Minneapolis. And they were losers in that one to the visiting Arizona Cardinals. Colt McCoy, excellent in the victory, as it's one that pushes his guys 2 games above 500. In the game you're watching, it's been Drew Lock with a strong first half. He's thrown for nearly 300 yards already as we get you back out to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Seahawks with the advantage, and they get the football first as the second half is underway. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. There's Tyler Lockett and the rest of his Seattle teammates coming out for the next possession. A monster game so far, third quarter. He is lighting up the stat sheet.
And so many times when you see these types of games, you hear about the quarterback, or we talk about the quarterback throwing guys open, putting it in the right spot. How about some credit for the receivers, though, who find ways to get open, whether they uncover late in a route or they get open early, but they just always find a way. And he's having that type of a game.
Yeah, he's been nearly impossible to cover. They'll roll him out right. He'll wind up getting 4 there on his own, but it will leave him now with a third down situation. Here's Lock to throw, being chased out left. It's caught, Lockett. And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the third quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
Going for Metcalf on the deep ball, and it is incomplete. Good positioning there downfield to break that one up. We sit in quarter number 3 out in Seattle. A 2nd and 10 now. On play action, Lock. Looking for Lockett, and he's got him, working his way free across the middle. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Giants' 21. That'll be marked as a 27-yard pickup. So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawk touchdown. D. Eskridge from 21 yards away. And the Seahawks take the opening kickoff of the third quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. And we remember, of course, all scoring plays need to be verified upstairs. And I think they're going to at least take a look at this. They're taking a peek at whether or not those feet were in bounds, and obviously a big call here in the end zone.
And not just the feet. How about the hands? How's the ball possessed while the feet are hopefully getting down in bounds? That's what they're trying to look at to see if it all comes together.
So they called it a touchdown originally, and this will stay a touchdown after the video review, so they had it right. Extra point up and through by Myers, and that'll increase their lead to 28. So the drive there took 6 plays, and it all culminates with a Seattle score. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. And we see James. He will not return it, and they'll bring it out to the 25. Some more great football coming your way in prime time to wrap up the month of October. It starts tonight. Could it be a Super Bowl preview? The Packers and Bills from Buffalo at 8:20 Eastern. And then tomorrow, Halloween night, Monday Night Football, the Bengals and Browns from Cleveland. And how this game has changed in importance in recent years. That starts at 8:15 Eastern. And throwing here to start the drive as they connect left side. And he'll be taken down, but not before they reach the 50. It'll go as a gain of 25 on a play that started back at the 25. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And Brate, the tight end's got it. And the tackle going to be made at the 38. Well, the margin on that scoreboard, obviously, for them, it looks daunting. But I don't know, Charles. They're probably not focused on that right now. Maybe just chaining together a positive drive with plays like we just saw, giving themselves something to build on.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. And what they have to be careful of is getting glued to that scoreboard, trying to do too much. Because if you do that, you're all but guaranteed to start making mistakes. Just focus on one play at a time and make each one successful.
And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. Well, hang on a second here, because on that last play, it appears one of the Giants shaken up. Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment. And a dangerous throw there as that's knocked down and incomplete. So coming on now is the field goal unit. They're going to try for 3, and he'll need all the leg he's got here. Gano's kick is good, and that drops a deficit from 28 to 25. So that, Charles, a season long right there.
And you know who's really excited about that? The special teams coordinator, because he's the one who has to tell the head coach in pregame, this is where we trust him from. This distance, he can hit it, and he repaid that trust by knocking that one right through.
They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Well, this offense, this team, they are rolling right now, Charles. They've scored on 3 straight possessions. You look at the scoreboard, and they pretty much right now got this thing on cruise control.
Yeah, and this is that time of game where you and I have to be prepared, right? Isn't this kind of like that empty the bucket time where you have to go into your blowout material and make sure we have some different things? That's what we're staring at right now, the way this one is going.
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. A loss of 4 that time on the sack, and it brings up second. Another try after the first down sack. Locke steps away. He's going to get this complete here to Lockett. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Giants' 33. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. To throw it is Locke. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. End zone caught. Touchdown Seattle. DK Metcalf. 33 yards. And the Seahawks add on to their lead, and it's looking like that win streak is going to extend another week. Well, when coaches come into a game preaching total team effort, CD, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all 3 phases. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes in the NFL, you end up with matchups like we've been watching here. And when you go back through the early drives, you can just see that one squad was on a different level in this game. Safe to say, we have been disappointed in watching their execution throughout this contest.
And we see James. He will now return it, and they'll bring it out to the 25. The New York set to take the field. And they unfortunately are staring at a mini losing streak developing, trailing here in the fourth quarter. This would be their third straight defeat. Jones and the Giants now with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. Kadarius Toney is intended target, but it's going to be 2nd down. Operating from the gun, Jones. This one goes out wide for Barkley. And some room to work. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains. Jones on 1st and 10. Throwing middle, and it's complete. And they're going to get this up to midfield. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
56, Mike, 56, right there.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Jones escaping, and he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sand.
Well, I wish this staff luck as they try to find positives about this performance by their offense as we move through the early part of the fourth quarter. That sack, the latest example. Down by a boatload, this offense simply can't keep up, and the quarterback is still taking hits. I'd get the backups in there if it were me.
That one thrown away from the pocket. The officials kind of looking at each other, but they'll say there was a receiver in the area, so no penalty, just an incomplete pass. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense, they're just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Giants go on 4th, but come up empty. And it'll be a turnover on downs. Well, that's another mistake there on the drop pass on 4th, and we've seen them do things like this all game.
It's not hard to figure out why they're down by that deficit. They haven't made plays that are going to keep them in the game or win the game all game long. That's another example right there. It all boils down at the end of it to execution. Either you make the play or you don't.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Here's Locke. And this is caught inside the 5. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. Now Locke. He'll buy some time right. And he's going to be taken down right at the line. It won't be a sack, but it's no gain, and it brings up 2nd down.
Late in the game, he's certainly doing everything in his power to buy time for his guys to make a play. But in this case, he's surrounded, and all he has room to do is to get back to the line of scrimmage.
2nd down and goal. Locke feeling the pressure here and taken down. A sack back at the 7. Leonard Williams, the former number 6 overall pick, got the sack that time. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. 3rd and goal as they look to pour some more salt in the wound. Locke going to throw. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. Blocked to throw for it on 4th. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert. They turn it over. The 4th down pass from the 5. And now it appears that the referee's been buzzed. And we'll get a review. And this being inside 2 minutes of play, everything coming from up above. They're taking a peek at whether or not those feet were in bounds, and obviously a big call here in the end zone.
And not just the feet. How about the hands? How is the ball possessed while the feet are hopefully getting down in bounds? That's what they're trying to look at to see if it all comes together.
So the officials and the folks in New York got a second look at this one, and the call is going to be overturned. Myers connects on the PAT. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. And we see James. He will not return it, and they'll bring it out to the 25. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. We certainly had a sense coming in here that these guys were in for a tough one on the road. That has been how this ball game has played out. They trail big as we continue on now here in this 4th quarter. Now Jones throwing on 1st down. That's caught by Galladay. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. This drive starting off on the right foot, 18 yards. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now, because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Jones throw here pulled in by Galladay. And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. So the 14 yards actually takes him from 143 to the other for 1st and 10. Operating from the gun, Jones. A quick reaction as he catches it off the tip. And they'll get this down to the 42-yard line.
Sometimes those tip balls turn out to be like a pinball, just bounce all over the place. Everyone's got to go up and get it. In this case,
Jones in trouble here, and down he goes. The 330-pounder Al Woods brings the boom on the sack.
Oh, you can just see it in their body language. They're starting to see victory on the horizon now, and if it comes to fruition, they got to give a game ball to the front 7. Defensive line has taken charge and controlled this game. Face a challenge of stopping this opposing offense, and they've done so with ease.
Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. And off the crossbar, no good. A sensational effort from that distance, but rejected by the bar. Well, I tell you, I think by definition you won't get any closer to equaling the record than that.
Not at all. 64 yards, end over end. And I think he's going to come up about a half a revolution short. And that could really have bounced either way.
He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. 25 yards that time. They have been unstoppable this afternoon, Charles. They just went after them from the start, and pass plays like we just saw. They're continuing their dominance here despite the big lead in the 4th quarter.
And that they have in every way. And plays like that across all phases of the game, they've just been effortless for them in this one. And that's what's helped them build such a large lead and allowed them to smile as this game continues.
And now we're going to get a timeout. Somewhat pointlessly called with 3 seconds to go in a game that's already been decided. He was out there waving his arms, and when you got a quarterback out of the pocket looking for any help, I guess waving the arms is helpful.
It certainly is, because you got to get his attention, because now you're in scramble drill. So everyone's adjusting their routes, finding open space, and he found the right spot for the completion.
Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the tunnel as this one ends, and understandably so. Not only did they get the win, but, boy, their offense was on fire in this ball game.
And, partner, I have no idea what the top speed is on one of those high-end sports cars. What's the top gear you can get into? This offense, they certainly were there in this one, huh? Everything clicking for them in this contest, the kind of performance that they're going to cherish.
So for the Seahawks, they continue to cruise as they move to 8-0 now on the campaign. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Arizona Cardinals. Meanwhile, for the Giants, the struggles intensify as they drop to 2-6 now on the year. And they'll take this loss into the bye as they'll be back in action in Week 10. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.